All right, let's go. How's the market? Austin, Texas, real estate update. Here we go. Let's jump into the numbers right away on what's going on with the market, because everybody's asking, what's happening? How's this year in real estate been? Where is it going? Should I buy? Should I sell? How do I get a real good offer on my home? I don't want to sit on the market a long period of time. All right, we're going to jump into all of that and more. First things first is median sales price. And so by the median sales price, we can see here at $419,990, just $10 shy of 420, is significantly different than the average sales price. And that's important to know, because look, here's what you're going to get today: certainty and clarity. Because people talking about the real estate market who are not using proper terminology or the right data, interpreting it the right way, could be confusing. And as you can see here, somebody interpreting our data from outside who's not buying and selling real estate every day, like my team here at the Vision Realty Group, might confuse you and say, man, $550,000 for the average price home? Well, that's significantly different than $420,000, because averages add them all up and divide by the number. $420,000 number, the median number, is lay them all out in a line, where's the middle? And obviously, this is a significant difference in affordability. So having that clarity on what numbers mean what and what should I be focused on is part of why I do these videos, so that people can have the clarity that they need to make the decision that's best for them. Okay, let's keep going. 2,236 sales for the month of November. Now remember, those contracts were written in October. It takes 30 days to close a property when they go under contract. So the fact that that number is down from the previous month, which is going to happen. So some of the month over month data that you can't see here, but that I personally tracked, is showing that month over month, the number of sales is down. And that's normal. Down 15%, we can see here from the previous year, is a little much. So that's something to keep an eye on as we finish up the year on what happens for December numbers, which we're not going to see till January. So even though this is the last show for the year, we still got one more month to finish up, but it'll be interesting to see how those November contracts look, because the market seems to be speeding up to slow down, if you will. And so 2,236 homes, but let's see which homes we're selling. Well, 300,000 to 400,000, 607 homes. Median days, 59 days on the market. I think that was the same for the overall market. Nope, 58 days. Okay, so 58 days, median days on market. Another interesting statistic, because we hear so much about people complaining and whining and moaning about my house isn't selling. Mostly that's coming from realtors. But people on the market too, like frustrated that their home's not selling. 58 days doesn't sound so bad, and it's not. And so what's happening here? Well, we have a lot of properties that are sitting on the market, and the realtor wasn't able to tell them the truth. What's it really going to take to get the property sold? Because they don't have that much business. 50% of realtors did 0 transactions last year, and so they're coming from scarcity, and they're afraid that you're not going to give them the listing, so they'll tell you what you want to hear. Careful, right? Vet your professionals to see what's going on with what they understand of the market and their willingness to tell you the truth. Or it could be a stubborn seller. And look, I get that. You want the most money possible, but trying to start high never yields you the most money possible. Ever, even in hot markets. And so making sure that we have the right data on how quickly are homes selling, or how slowly are they selling. Now, 58 days is slower than it was within the last few years, but a couple of months is still pretty good. So once you're sitting on the market longer than that, then bigger problems begin to arise on people thinking that you might not be motivated, or that there's something wrong with the house. So you start getting lowball offers. Has that happened to you yet? And so this is something that you do not want, because you want the most money possible. Okay, having a strategy to make sure that you sell within the confines of what reality yields. 45 days. Look, I know this says 58 days, but this is taking into account properties that didn't price right and then had to make an adjustment and wait for the right buyer to come along. And I'm going to share with you, if you didn't get the price right, how long will it take to sell my home? I'll get to that in a minute. But we know that when properties are priced right, 30 to 45 days is still what it's approximately taking to get a property sold. And so with this 58 days, taking into account people overpriced, homeowners overpriced, listing agents overpriced, then there's still a confine of time. There's a period of time here that you should not have to wait 3, 4, 5, 6 months to get your property sold, even in the upper echelons. Okay, let's take a look at that. Which properties are selling? Well, the most here, 607 for 300,000 to 400,000, still only taking 59 days to sell. Interestingly enough, 200,000 to 300,000, there's 347 sales, 58 days. 57 days. Let's see, the 390 were sold in the 400,000 to 500,000 range. That's 63 days. Okay, nudging upwards. What's going to happen with the $1 million price range? Well, 1 to 1.9, 63 days. Not too bad. 51 homes sold in the 1 to 1.9. 1.2 to 1.39, 58 days. Pretty good for the properties not sitting on the market a long. 59, just 1 day extra. Gotta make sure I hit that button sometimes, okay? 1.4 and above. What happened there? 51 days. So I don't want to hear it, luxury listing agents, that the market is taking a long time, and you shouldn't be listening to that either, because the buyers are out there. Now, what kind of features and benefits do you have? What are your upgrades and your updates? Compared to your price point is always the most significant factor to still sell your property within a reasonable time. Because I know that you may not have a time frame, and so then because you don't have that deadline, the common thought is among sellers is, well, let's wait it out and see what happens. No. That does not work, because buyers start thinking there's something wrong or you're not motivated. And how often do you shop for overpriced items? Okay, that's right. Never. You're always looking for a deal, just like everybody else. And I'm not saying you got to give your home away, but you do got to get in the strike zone on what properties have recently been sold for, on what properties are currently selling for, the competition, right? To make sure that that you're competing and that you can still sell. Now, look, you don't like the price. That's another story. That's another conversation in regards to how motivated you actually may or may not be, because it may not just be the right time for you. I'm going to come back to that. All right, so let's take a look at the inventory right now. Okay, so for inventory, we're looking currently, as of today, 12/22, 13,235 homes. That's a 5.92 month supply, just a little bit down from where we were before. Now, remember, in the peak of the market here this year, we were pushing 16,000 homes. So we're down a bit. Okay, and the months of supply, 5.92, means if no other homes came on the market, how long would it take to sell all the homes? Just about 6 months. Okay, so traditionally, in the grand scope of real estate, in the grand history of real estate, 6 months tends to be a seller's market. But those of us who've bought and sold real estate within the last 10 years knows that that's really a buyer's market, and that while it's healthy, I don't know why I keep doing these quotes, that the fact that there's a 6 month supply means there's a lot more choices for buyers. They're moving slower. They're a little apprehensive about the interest rates. I'll come back to that too, on where we're going and should you buy or sell right now, makes this more of a buyer's market. So currently 265 pending, and so 191 active under contract. The only difference between active under contract and pending is active under contract means they're still looking to get that home inspection done and they're in their option period where they may pull out, versus being in pending when they're past the home inspection and they're only working on financing or the closing process to finish up. Okay, so I think one of the more important pieces of data that is so interesting to me is how many days will it take for the property to sell if I didn't get the price point right initially. Now, if you get in the strike zone, let's say you're out of the strike zone, you price too high, how long will it take for me to get an offer? Well, here we go, right here, 27 days. If you're priced right. If you're not priced right, it could take another 27 days. So get the price right. Now, understanding what this means for the competition in your neighborhood and in your area, because you really got to look at both. Because I know you're a neighborhood special, but there may be a special neighborhood next door too, or nearby. Or look. Sometimes you just got to consider the the general bigger area on what's happening, because buyers aren't only looking in your neighborhood. They're looking in the area because of the school zone, because of the proximity to work, because of where they want to live generally in the Central Texas area. And so it's important to see not just what's going on in your neighborhood, but what's going on generally with the competition, and understand that if I'm not priced right, it could take another month to get the property sold. But Paulie, that's fine with me. I don't have a deadline to sell my home. And I just mentioned that just a few minutes ago, where you may not have a deadline, but the buyers do. And they know that if properties are sitting around longer than normal, well, what's normal? Well, we just talked about that. 45 to 50 days, we're looking at on median days on market. So if properties are sitting around more than a couple of months, well, we start seeing the lowball offers. We start seeing the investors looking for creative financing and all this weird stuff that makes seller nervous. Not always bad, by the way. There's plenty of good reasons on why you might want to do seller financing, or you might want to do a creative finance deal. And hey, if you bought a home recently and you're close to being upside down and you're not sure if you can sell, well, look, reach out to me. I've sold hundreds of homes in that scenario. I used to have a consultative company where we specifically would go out in another state where I sold real estate to go and help people with their options on what to do in that scenario. One more thing, want to provide one more piece of bonus for you guys. If you want a real offer, a good offer on your home, I'm not talking about any lowball creative financing deal. I'm talking about a real market price offer. Hit me up and click on the description go to the description and click on the link on how to receive an offer for your home, and we'll provide no strings attached, no obligations, a consultation on how you can get an offer on your home, top market dollar. And even if that means you don't want to go on the market, we can talk about it. Okay, so let's finish up. All in all, what's going on with the market here? Well, the interest rates are, it's nice to see the Feds drop the interest rates, the borrowing rates between banks. But remember, and a lot of you guys already know this, is the Fed rates are not tied directly to mortgage rates, right? That's more of a bond thing, right? So perception is reality, and because people have seen multiple interest rate drops from the Fed, they get excited about that. They like that, and so sentiment, energy, perception around the market has gotten better in regards to people feeling like the interest rates are going to get better. Will they get better? I think so. To what extent? Probably not something dramatic or severe that's going to make everybody get excited and rush to market and make things a lot more affordable. Which, by the way, would cause some problems for some of you buyers who were waiting for that to happen. And now all of a sudden you got people rushing to market, multiple offers, the inventory goes down, and then you're back where you were a few years ago, where there's a lot of competition and you start overpaying for properties. Now, look, I'm not trying to say yay or nay or pro or con for any given scenario or market condition. All I'm saying is that there's pros and cons to every single market. And while before people were complaining about not being able to get an offer in, now they're still hesitant about pulling the trigger because of the economy or because of the interest rates. When the matter of fact is, properties in Central Texas have been severely reduced from where they were before, and we're about in line for a natural progression of appreciation when you look at the historical context from years beyond on how we should be appreciating appropriately. We're just a little under that and heading towards the right direction for that. And so this is going to be a great time to buy. Now, not just because Uncle Warren Buffett said when everybody goes in one direction, go in the other direction, because everybody's going in the direction of, I don't know if it's the right time to buy right now, and I think I'm going to hold off. When people who are in the know and in the industry understand that properties are on sale, there are opportunities for great negotiations, and so buying is a fantastic time right now because Central Texas is only going to get more expensive. Period. Point blank. End of story. And I know we all hate that, but it's reality. And so this is the time. The opportunity is now We love having conversations around what that might look like for you. Even if you're not going to do anything right now, let's still talk about it. Connect with us to ask questions or to get your free consultation. Now, should I sell my home right now? Well, I know for some of you guys, a few of you who've been watching this more than 1 month in a row are going to hear me say the same thing. Well, it depends on your situation. Should you sell right now? Is it the right time for you? Because waiting until spring, well, we've seen the median price point kind of even out the last quarter of the year. Could it go down a little bit further in December and January and February? It could. Now remember, last January to February was the biggest bump of appreciation, and then the March, April, May months, which were stereotypically the hottest months for appreciation without fail in Central Texas, didn't happen last year. So you could be waiting for a spring that falls flat. Now, I don't think that's going to happen this year because the dynamics of the market are a little bit different in regards to interest rates and direction with what's happening with the Fed and what's happening with the overall sentiment of Central Texas. Because remember, we're different than real estate is local. So Dallas and Houston and San Antonio are different than Austin, Texas. But for us, talking about Central Texas, the greater Austin area right now, is that we're probably headed for some more appreciation, enough to get 10 or 15% more in April or May. I doubt it. Enough to get a little bit more, maybe. So it really just depends on where you're at and how much you're looking to get for the property versus the reality of the speed of the market. And oh, by the way, every neighborhood's a little bit different with that too. So having that conversation to understand, okay, where are you at? What's your understanding? What are you looking to have happen? What are your goals? What's the timing of your scenario to understand what that means? So the market dynamics, what's happening with the market, and what that means on the direction that you're headed, so that you can make an informed decision and have some clarity. Because look, if you're waiting for a miracle by May, it ain't gonna happen. If you're looking just for a little bit more appreciation, could happen. Okay, but if you're looking for a lot more growth and you're looking for a significantly more than where your property was priced before when you came off the market as an expired or withdrawn listing, or from where you think value is based off of some of these algorithms like Redfin or Realtor.com or Zillow, which, oh, by the way, you should reach out to us and get your own free home valuation. Customized home valuation. Click on the link below for customized home valuation. I'll send it to you, no strings attached, because those algorithms don't take into account so much that differentiates your home compared to other homes within a half-mile radius. Okay, so having clarity can give you so much power with the direction of what you're going to do, and maybe save you a significant amount of time, months, maybe years, and save you a significant amount of money, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. It really just depends on having the right conversation to understand when's the right time for you, because everybody's different. Everybody's situation is different. And that's where our expertise to help provide clarity with the market and provide options for you to get what you want in the time frame you want it. Won't that be great? Hey, stay tuned, share, like, come on back. Appreciate you. Vision Realty Group. Your vision is my mission.